Hey everyone, it's Nicole from Patient Excel, and today we'll be diving into how to handle lead calls effectively. So, whether you're running a lead generation campaign for your practice or managing ads as a practice owner, these principles are extremely crucial to apply when calling your leads and transitioning them from leads to booked appointments, as well as ensuring that these leads show up to their appointment and convert into a paying patient for treatment. So at this point, the lead has obviously entered into your lead management system, meaning they have already gone through the qualification quiz. Prior to calling the lead, you will want to pull up their quiz answers so that their answers can be confirmed during the phone call. So as a side note, before really diving into the call structure, obviously not all leads will answer on the first call. So simultaneously, they should be receiving follow-up text messages to be reminded of what they opted in for, and if it gets to the point that you have called a lead 7 to 10 times and you still have not gotten them to answer, they should then enter a text and email nurturing sequence. I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you want to maximize your ROI. So you really need to have a designated phone caller who can focus on speed to lead and getting leads scheduled as soon as possible to their original inquiry. So let's begin with talking about why having a call structure is important. Mismanaging lead calls can quickly make your campaign unprofitable. And to avoid this, you need a structured call system to maximize how many leads become paying patients. Without a clear process in place, your efforts can quickly go to waste. So I'm going to walk you through 3 key aspects of managing a lead call. Number 1 is the structure of the call, number 2 is qualifying the lead, and number 3 is building desire. The last part, building desire, is critical because it involves getting the lead emotionally invested. However, qualifying the lead is equally as important to ensure they're serious and a good fit, so you don't want to waste valuable time and resources on people who won't end up moving forward. All right, so now let's go ahead and get started with the first point, the structure of the call. So I'm going to go ahead and break it down step by step, where the first step is the greeting. For example, you want to say, "Hey Maria, this is Nicole from Patient Excel. I'm calling you because we received your inquiry about dental implants," or really whatever service you're currently promoting. It is important to make sure that the person you are calling is actually the person that was interested and filled out the form. Also, with this greeting, it ensures that the lead knows who you are and why you're calling. It's important to avoid sounding too salesy by using a conversational tone, and by applying speed to lead, you're still on their mind, and they will have remembered filling out the form and seeing the ad. A formal introduction by saying something just like, "Hi, I'm Nicole from Patient Excel." This can kind of sound like a cold call, which might turn people away. So instead, you should try to say something like, "Hi Maria, it's Nicole from Patient Excel. I'm just getting back to you about your recent form submission regarding dental implants. Does that sound right?" With this introduction, you're simultaneously feeding into step 2, which is the reason for the call, and is where you're clearly establishing why you are calling. So you want to let them know that you're responding to their inquiry and you're here to provide the information that they requested. And this ultimately frames the conversation as helpful and what they asked for, rather than as being pushy, which could be how you frame the conversation if you were to say something along the lines of, "Hey, just wanted to get in contact with you to talk about some dental treatment." Now, step number 3 is super important, and that's understanding their situation. So here is where you're going to dig into their needs, which also ties into building desire. The first thing to do is ask about their current challenges and goals. You can say something along the lines of, "So tell me what's been going on with your dental health and how can we help?" Then when they share their issues, you can ask follow-up questions to understand the impact that this challenge has had on their life. You can ask questions like, "Is this affecting your smile, or is it more about functionality? Does it impact your confidence at work or in social settings?" By asking these questions, you're not only building rapport, but also revealing what's truly important to the lead. You can also learn more about the lead, which can help with not only determining their interest, but also their qualification. Perhaps in the answer, they reveal that this has really been impacting them at work and during their meetings, either telling you what their occupation is or providing you with the opportunity to ask. From here, you can ask about what their ideal result is, and this is because you want to build desire for their dream outcome. They may already have an idea on what treatment they're interested in, and this is helpful so that you can determine and schedule them for the right kind of consultation. If they do not really know what treatment they're looking for, this presents the opportunity to ask some more questions or to discuss briefly what treatment options are available to fix their current dental issue. By getting them to think or be aware of their treatment options and by discussing their ideal end result, they can begin thinking and imagining what their new life could look like. Also, providing or discussing a treatment option helps to attach a mechanism or a solution to getting to their ideal outcome, which can help them look forward to coming in for their appointment and increase their commitment. By knowing that there is a solution to their problem and identifying their pain points and their ideal outcome, you're indirectly explaining how there is a gap between their current dental condition and their ideal dental situation, explaining how that gap can be fixed with your services. So the first 3 steps, your greeting, the reason, and their dental situation, is all your rapport building stages. And this is where you're building a relationship with the lead and you're getting them to open up. From here, the next step is logistics and screening. So after establishing their needs, you'll want to qualify the lead to ensure they're a good fit. This can happen naturally during the conversation, or if you're at this point, this would be a good time to do so. So first, you want to discuss your practice location to ensure that they can actually commute to your practice. And then next, you can ask about dental insurance. If they mention that they have Medicaid or no insurance, it is important to consider their financial situation, especially for more expensive treatments like implants. If you are running an implant campaign, this could be a good time to go over their questions from the landing page qualification quiz, especially the answers to the financial questions, to just confirm that the credit score that they selected is correct. If their credit score is low, this would be a good time to let them know that financing might not be an option, and you then want to confirm that this still works for them and they would still like to proceed moving forward. At this point, you can determine if you would like to still see a low credit patient or further screen them right there and then, or ultimately indicate that your practice just might not be the best route for them. Here is also where you can ask if anyone else, like a spouse, will be joining them for the consultation. This is beneficial because it can help avoid delays caused by needing to check in with someone after the appointment. Obviously, if they're looking to get something like a full arch solution, this is a really big decision and commitment, and a lot of times they will want to go over this with their spouse. So by having them there at the appointment, this can help avoid the delay of needing to go back home and going to talk to somebody. Lastly, it is always good to confirm cost awareness. So since you are sending them to such an informative and educational landing page, most leads should already be cost aware, as pricing for the service you're promoting is included on your landing page. If you haven't yet watched our video on how to successfully run a Facebook implant campaign, make sure to go ahead and check that out. I will be leaving it linked in this video's description. Nonetheless, there is no harm in double confirming their cost awareness because it just ensures that they're aware of the potential costs before committing to an appointment, because some patients may have not spent a ton of time on your landing page. This can be done by saying something like, just so you're aware, treatments like single tooth implants can range from $3,000 to $5,000. If they do present objections at this time and you have financing options available, this would be a good time to mention this if you hadn't yet earlier. So another important side note is that it is important to avoid diving into screening and qualifications too early into your phone call, as it can make it feel transactional. It is important to not ask these questions up front, but rather after you have done some of the relationship building, and then once they have opened up to you some, you can comfortably qualify them. Next, it is time to schedule the patient. So one of the best ways to increase the chances of a potential new patient actually showing up is to offer more time slots. Instead of just offering 1 or 2 times, ask, when's the best time for you? Patients will usually know when they're free and will suggest a time that actually works best for them in their schedule. However, you do want to try to schedule them as soon as possible, either within the same day, the next day, or at least within the same week, because this helps to increase their show rate. After establishing the desire and building the relationship with the patient, it creates this sense of urgency and increases their drive to want treatment and want to find their solution. So if you were to push off their appointment for a couple or a few weeks away, their urgency and their drive can be lost. Now next, once the appointment is booked, there are several strategies you can use to improve your show rate. First, always make sure that you're sending reminder texts and make reminder calls before the appointment. Another option you can consider to implement is financial incentives, like requiring a credit card on file to enforce a no-show policy. You do want to make sure to do this after you have already given them their appointment time, as well as established your relationship with them and you have built some trust. For example, if you're 3/4 through the call, you've given their appointment time, you've built some trust up, you can say, "By the way, Maria, we do require a card on file to secure your appointment. If we don't see you at your scheduled appointment, there is a $25 no-show fee. We can go ahead and take the card information whenever you're ready." All right, and then just to reiterate here at the end, by identifying their dental concerns and their ideal outcomes, you're working to build a connection that makes them more likely to show up and begin treatment. And then another key tip is to increase the time that the lead is talking rather than the time you or your phone caller is talking. In sales, they say that the person who talks less always wins the sale. So make sure to ask questions, but then to take a step back and let the patient talk. When they open up about their problems and interests, it's a strong sign that they're engaged and they're invested in moving forward. So guys, by following these steps and having a solid optimized system, you'll maximize your chances of converting leads into appointments. For more insights, check out our other videos or reach out to us through the link in the description. I'll see you in another video soon.